is next. Oh, remember...
I'm waiting on a reply. Oh, there's Ace.
Just want to say, for anyone that wants to ask a question, head over to the Discord, ask your question in the Q&A section, jump into the voice channel, and you can ask your question live on stream. You can argue with me, debate with me, whatever you want to do. Or if you don't want to come into the voice channel, that's also fine. Just ask your question and just say, when you're asking the question, I don't want to be in voice, but I do want this question asked. And Moni will ask the question on your behalf. So, yeah. Remember, you can do that. Link to Discord should be in the description down below. Okay, Moni, now.
All right. Ace just got back to me. They said they're going to be AFK for a second, so why don't we just take care of another question that I flagged?
Okay.
This one is from Nick Berg. He is considering getting into WoW and wants to know if you think that Classic is future-proof, or should he just start playing retail? He doesn't have anything against one or the other. And I just thought that was an interesting question, given our stances on retail versus Classic.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he'd be getting this future-proof concept from.
All right. So, first and foremost, Classic can, by definition, not be future-proof. It's already done, and we know what the future for Classic is. It eventually becomes Shadowlands. So by its very nature, it's not future-proof. But I'm suspecting you're asking a different type of question here. Can you play Classic World of Warcraft forever? That really depends on you. I can only give you the answer as it affects me, and that answer is no. I played Classic. I had fun with it when I played it the first time, when it was current. I don't want to go back. I have no interest in playing stuff that I have already played, especially not when it comes to an MMO. There are plenty of single-player games out there that I will gladly play over and over again because I love the story, I love the gameplay, I love the world. MMOs, not really. I want the new stuff, I want the new lore. Mainly because I play for lore, it sort of makes sense. I already know all the lore from Classic, so there's nothing for me to discover in Classic WoW. But there are people that, even to this day, still play Classic World of Warcraft and have a grand old time of it. There are rumors that Blizzard might be looking into a Classic Plus. Now, if that happens, I think Classic Plus has the ability to almost kill retail. Because I think Classic is built on a much stronger foundation than retail WoW, and therefore it probably does have the ability to be very good if a true Classic Plus experience ever came to fruition. With Classic Plus, of course, I mean new content, new dungeons, new raids, maybe even housing systems and all the rest of it. So basically treat it as if it is its own game. If what you're asking, of course, is that is Blizzard just going to continuously redo all of the old games? The answer to that is almost certainly not. Does anyone actually want Classic Cataclysm? Or Classic Warbringer? Not Warbringers. Warlords of Draenor? Or Classic BFA? Or Classic Shadowlands? I think the answer to that is no. No one actually wants that. I think if you ask most people, the only expansion that people actually want a Classic version of is Mist of Pandaria, which is fine. And I get that a lot of people really fucking love that, and maybe Blizzard will do that, but it's kind of going to be weird when Blizzard does all of the Classic ones up until Wrath, then skips Cataclysm, then goes straight into Mist, then skips Warlords of Draenor, then goes to Legion, and then what? Skip 4 or 5 fucking expansions before they get to the next ones. So I don't think that's going to happen in any way, shape, or form. I doubt that that's going to happen, but it could. I mean, it's Blizzard. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's their game. I would honestly go for retail, just because I think retail right now has a lot of promise. I think looking at 9.2 specifically, I think 9.2 fixed a lot of the problems that Shadowlands had. I've spoken to a lot of people that is really having fun in 9.2, and these are people who didn't have as much fun in, prior to 9.2, but is now actually having a good time in Shadowlands. I think 9.2 already fixes a lot of problems. And then, of course, I'm very optimistic for Dragonflight, because I do think Dragonflight is sort of a departure from anything that Blizzard have ever done before. Now, we were just talking about it on stream earlier today. If you pay attention to World of Warcraft, then you will know that Dragonflight is the first of its kind for Blizzard. In the past, yes, Blizzard have been better at making their world feel like something. In the past, if we're going back to Classic, TBC, Wrath, even Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria, yes, the world was a character and the world felt alive. But a lot of that was more almost just an outflow of necessity. Right? So you had a lot of daily hubs, for example, and daily hubs did a lot to make people feel like they were part of a community, because every single zone would have its daily hub, and you would go to this daily hub and there'd be a shit ton of people around you all doing the same dailies, and you'd team up for dailies because it would be faster if you did it with other people, and it sort of forced people out into the world. And this was sort of reminiscent of all of the older expansions. You go to TBC, shit tons of dailies. You go to Wrath of the Lich King, you had a crap ton of dailies all over the world, and then you had the Argent tournament that opened up, and that was a shit ton of dailies that just drew a lot of people in there. And then, of course, you go to Cataclysm, and you have the Firelands daily zones. The dailies in Firelands, Mount Hyjal specifically, and that drew a lot of people in and made the world feel more alive. But a lot of that was slightly, kind of by accident. It just so happens to have been the way the world was designed. But that wasn't casual content. It wasn't really open world content. It was just how the game had always worked. And then Blizzard, of course, sort of deviated from that, and they moved away from that in a very real way. But now in Dragonflight, we're heading back there, but better. So Blizzard is doing what they used to do in the past, but it seems like they're going bigger and better. So we have a new climbing minigame, rock climbing minigame that seems to be coming to the game. We have dragon riding. We have dragon riding PvP that seems to, and I don't mean PvP as in fighting each other, but literally being able to race against other players up to 4. That seems to be a really cool system in and of itself. We have Pokemon Snap coming to World of Warcraft. I've never played Pokemon Snap. I don't even have a fucking clue what Pokemon Snap really is, but from what I can gather in WoW and what people are calling it, you're going down a river on a raft and you take pictures of animals and you get X amount of fucking points for every picture that you take. Some shit like that. So that shit is happening. You have jumping puzzles that Blizzard is bringing into the game. So I do believe that there's so much that's coming. Now, you might look at these things, you might be like, Accolonn, I'm never going to fucking do that. Like, who cares about going down a river and taking fucking pictures of bullshit? I don't care. Yeah, you don't have to care. That's the beauty of this content. Is every single player in the game going to do Pokemon Snap in World of Warcraft? No. Is every single player going to do jumping puzzles? No. Is every single player going to do dragon riding? No. Is every single player going to do rock climbing? No. But there's going to be some people that do at least one of those things. And everyone is going to find at least something that they kind of like. What does this mean for the world? It's busy. There's constantly people in the world doing things. Suddenly your world feels more alive. Suddenly it feels like a breathable, living world, because there's people in there playing the game, being part of the world. There's people spamming for other people to come race them. There's people spamming their scores on the Pokemon Snap shit and all that crap. That's what WoW needed. So I do think, if at all, I would come to retail and give it a go. Considering the fact that you have to pay the subscription either way, you may as well try it out. If you don't like it, fuck, go to Classic and see how that goes. Because at least, like I said, the subscription, you have to pay it anyways, regardless of which one you want to play. So yeah, I really hope that answers your question. I think it was Nick.